What's up, family? What's up, family? We're going to get started here in a minute, all right?
Term insurance, that's more for people who have big term insurance.
Oh, wow. So you can't, I can't, wow. I didn't know that. I know now. I did not know that. What's up, family? We're going to get started here in a minute. Get started in 1 minute. We'll get started here in 1 minute. And get all these networks set up. Give people enough time to get in, recovering from the holiday. For those that celebrated, hope you had a good time. Hope you had a good time. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Invite your friends, come on in. Invite your friends, come on in, come on in. You got hair set up? Yeah, I like that.
Just when you're doing your braids, next time you're doing your braids, I'm going to take a lock with you, and then I'm going to do my braids while you do your braids. Yeah. Yeah.
How about the mushroom? How about the mushroom?
I think she's 15 is very fine.
Oh. Yeah. She's going to be free, huh?
Yeah.
Yo, please share this link. Please share this link. Please share this link. Appreciate you guys, everybody coming in on different platforms. We got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We all over the place. Definitely appreciate you guys coming on. And the reason for this is, first of all, I want to apologize. We have really poor internet service right now. We had a couple of storms come through here. They're still repairing the internet in my neighborhood. So if I do get glitches or anything, please forgive me for that. If anything get lost in translation, send me a DM, email, book a consultation, and I can clear everything up for you. All right. Okay. So the reason for this is I was having a conversation with my wife, and we acknowledge that people are really having, a hard time in society right now. You know what I'm saying? People are really going through real financial challenges and financial struggles. And I had to check my vocabulary because I started agreeing with what everybody else was saying, that people are broke. People are not broke. People are not broke. People are more cautious with how they spend their money. They're more cautious when it comes to big ticket items. In my neighborhood where I live, they just built anywhere from 8 to a dozen brand new, $750,000 and up homes. And today I drove past them, and I even made a video to show you that each one of those homes are already fully occupied. They're fully occupied. Now, and literally, they just put the last nail in the wall, and these buildings are already fully occupied. So people are not broke. All right? People are not broke. people are just more cautious with how they spend their money. Right now in the nation today, you have these services like Affirm and Afterpay. They have had 500% increase in just the last 6 months because, again, people don't want to purchase just one large purchase right now. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to just say, okay, let's go out and buy this new car or buy this home. You know, they're being very cautious. I mean, and again, we are living in some economic challenges, you know what I'm saying? And we really are. And not only economic challenges, but dangerous times. I don't know where you guys are from. You could drop in the chat where you from. But, you know, where I'm from, when I tell you this is the city is pretty dangerous. You know, I'm in St. Louis right now. We travel a lot between St. Louis, Missouri, Charlotte, South Carolina, Miami, and Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. So we travel quite often, my wife and I. But when you look at the conditions of my city, you know, last night after the 4th of July celebration, you know, 7, 8 people got shot, 2 got murdered. Today, 2 more people got murdered. You know what I'm saying? So we're living in some really, really strange times right now. And we understand, we get it. So now, with all that being said, we know that half the year is over. So whatever goals that you have for next year, you should be setting those goals in stone right now. All right? If you're not preparing your goals for next year right now, you're behind the 8 ball. You late. You late for the party. You late. You are absolutely late. And for my people in Miami, I have a lot of followers and a lot of clients down in Miami. Listen, man, I feel for you guys. I know people right now in Miami that are living in storage units. Right now. I know people living in storage units. It used to be a time when I was living in Miami, you could get an efficiency, which is no more than a kitchenette, what we call kitchenette apartments in St. Louis. You call them efficiencies in Miami. You could get an efficiency for $800 or $900. The same efficiency right now is $2,300, $2,400 in bad neighborhoods. That's the most fucked up part, bad neighborhoods. So now, how does this relate to your credit? It relates to your credit because, as they say, if you knew better, you would do better. Unfortunately, our parents didn't teach us credit because they didn't know credit. You know, my father was an entrepreneur my entire life. My entire life, we grew up, we owned anywhere from service stations. We owned restaurants. We owned barbershops. My dad had a couple of tire shops. He was a mechanic by trade. So my dad always owned some type of business. He was always independent. But my dad died poor. He lived rich and died poor. Why? Because he didn't have the knowledge that it took to sustain his businesses. You know, his business may operate for a year or two, crash, burn. He opened up another business. He didn't understand taxes. He didn't understand leveraging credit. He did everything with cash, you know. And unfortunately, he did it because that's what his grandparents and his parents taught him, that credit was bad. Credit isn't bad. Debt isn't even bad. You have to know how to manage debt, all right? You have to know how to manage debt. Like right now, if I told you how much debt I was personally in, you would be like, he tripping. But I know how to manage my debt. I know how to leverage my debt. I could take my debt to the bank and get more money. I could take my debt to the bank and get more loans just off of my debt. So you have to know how to leverage your debt. You can't be afraid of debt. You know, a lot of us, we ain't afraid to go to Tulum or Cancun or overseas and spend $3,000, $4,000 on a vacation. But when it comes to spending $3,000, $4,000 on something that can sustain you, an asset, an investment, now you want to question everybody about it. You know, I say all the time, man, people are not broke. They just got broke priorities. You know what I'm saying? People pay for what they want and beg for what they need. And we have to get out that mindset. You know, I don't understand even how people go to clubs every fucking weekend. Like, I don't get it. Like, think about this, sir. Think about any artist, any performer that you admire. Think about it. Was The Rock, Kevin Hart, Snoop Dogg, any artist that you admire, and ask yourself, how the fuck does he work that many jobs? Think about that. Steve Harvey, Terry Crews, anybody you could think of that you admire, they work multiple fucking jobs. They have multiple investments. They are non-stop. They are non-stop machines because they have goals. They have things they're trying to do. They're trying to take care of their family. And the one thing they all have in common, they know how to leverage their credit. They know how to leverage their credit. So for a person to be working one job saying he's struggling, get off your fucking ass. Get off your fucking ass. For real. Get out the dream world. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Get out that dream world. Because I'm telling you from experience, when I came home from the feds, I was working 2.5 jobs. I would wake up some days and didn't know what the fuck the day it was. I would wake up on a Thursday and call my job, say I'm late, and they like, man, you off today. What you mean? That's how tired, because I would rather be tired than broke. I would rather be tired than broke. And that's the mentality you got to have if you want to be, and you want to get ahead. If a motherfucker can go out here and buy a bottle of Don Julio and get a 3.5, you can get your credit fixed. And you ain't got to pay me to do it. Just pay the right person to do it. Or if you want to do it yourself, it ain't that hard. It ain't that difficult. But you have to be consistent. You have to know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to fuck something up. And that's the reason why you hire people. That's the reason why you take on mentors. Because you don't want to fuck something up. That's the reason. So another reason why I wanted to do this, besides preaching, you guys on Instagram and you guys on TikTok can't see this on my other screen. However, the promotion will be posted. Going back to people don't want to purchase large items right now, right? We have always been against payment plans. It just never worked out for us. You know what I'm saying? Payment plans have just never, ever worked out for us. Like we tried, and we understand life happens, shit happens, and you enter with good intentions, but you get a flat tire. You lose your job. That person that was paying half the rent decides to leave you. Like, we get it. We understand life happens all the time. However, we depend on that income to survive our lifestyle and pay our bills. So when someone says, okay, I know I agreed to do this, but I can't do it right now, account, then everything gonna be good. But the money has to be in your account. You know what I'm saying? So right now we're looking at a down payment of $299 a month. And if you're a client of mine, I know you're probably screaming now, are you serious? Because people know how much we charge. You know what I'm saying? We're not the cheapest out there, but at the same time, we're not the most expensive. I've seen credit repair companies charge $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 easily. I've heard of nightmares of people that have paid people $2,000 and $3,000 and they ran off with their money and they never see them again. So anyone that ever dealt with us, we have hundreds of clients throughout the nation. I think in the years that we've been doing this, we got one complaint, and that was because a gentleman wanted the process to be faster than what it is, and we don't control the process. And that goes back to one of the number one questions that we always get is, how long does credit repair take? It takes as long as it takes. And that's an honest answer. If anyone can promote or tell you, I get it done in 31 days, it'll be clean in 90 days, they're either doing something illegal or they scamming. That's the only way around it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way around it. They're either doing something illegal or they're scamming. That's the only way around it. You may see results in 31 days, but it depends on what you define as results. Like what I consider to be success, you may not consider to be success. You know what I mean? So to me, if a person say, well, I want to see results, if your credit score is 560 and next month it's a 562, that 2-point increase, those are the results. To you, it may not be, but to me, it is. So it's all in the matter of language and how you define certain things that's going on. So what we've decided to do, my wife and I, again, we're going to do $299 down, and we're going to do $99 a month. Now, part of that $99 a month is going towards your credit monitoring service, which is $39 a month. So out of that, that includes the credit monitoring. You will not have to pay anything additional for any kind of credit monitoring service. It's going to be included with the monthly service. In order to subscribe to the monthly service, it has to be a debit card, credit card, Chime. And this is something that we're actually, bankrolling on. Because if this isn't successful, that means we have to go back to our old way of doing things. And I think that the way, if we could do things this way, it'll service more people. You know what I'm saying? It'll service more people, it'll help out more people. The one question I get almost every day at the end of a consultation is, do you do payment plans? And I get it. I used to didn't get it because I always felt like, people going to pay for what they want. But at the same time, I had to put myself in that position and say, do I want to spend this much money right now? Because I'm that way now. Like, even with my wife would be like, okay, well, this costs $1,000. And I'm like, well, do we want to spend $1,000 right now? How about we take that $1,000 and do this, and then take the money off of that and then go back? You know what I mean? Like, I'm always trying to figure out a way to make the money off the money to spend the money. Like, I at least want to flip it 2 or 3 times before we lose it. You know what I'm saying? That's my mentality. So, so that's what we're doing. For everybody else that can see this here. Well, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Just because I remove all the negatives, your score could actually decrease. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't automatically increase. It could decrease because there are certain parameters when it comes to your credit and what makes up a credit score. So what we do here is, while we're repairing your credit, we're guiding you to rebuilding your credit. All right? And I try my best to stay away from trade lines unless somebody trying to make an immediate move. But most of the time, we try to stay away from trade lines unless we necessarily need them, because I want you to have real solid credit. Whether we have to start with secure cards, which we use secure cards going through banks and credit unions. The other secure cards, the Indigo, the Milestones, the Credit Ones, they serve a purpose. They do serve a purpose. But those cards, which are called subprime cards, meaning that you have to pay a fee to carry the card, those cards we tend to kind of stay away from unless the client absolutely needs it, because every situation is different. Case in point, I have one client that had 3 negatives on there, took 3-4 months, got it clean, he off to the races. I got another client that's a divorcee. We've been doing her credit now for 2.5 years. She had the second lowest credit score ever seen, which is a 370. That was the second lowest credit score I had ever seen. And right now she's in the mid-6s, and her goal is to buy a house. So we're gonna keep pushing towards that 700. Also with us, it's not just credit repair, credit building, but mentorship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get mentorship. You have access to everything. I know all my resources. Anyone, again, all our clients will tell you that. I have clients right now, before they even apply for anything, they call me first. They'll call me first. Hey, Mo, what you think? Do you think I should do this? Is this a good idea? Should I do this right now? And I give my honest opinion. Just quick story. Had a client, got up to the 700s. He decided, well, he didn't decide. His girlfriend decided she wanted to buy a house. And he's a truck driver, young, early 30s. She's in her early 30s. They end up buying a house from the ground up, like $675,000, against my better judgment. Like, I literally, and my wife can contest to this, like, I almost begged him not to buy that house, because I think of how I could flip the money 2-3 times before I spend it. If you could get approved for $675,000 for a house, you can get approved for $675,000 for a multi-unit. So why not buy a 4-family or a 6-family unit, live in one, rent the others out, and let that pay for your mortgage? That way you keep your money in your pocket. Wait 2 years, do a cash out refi, boom, start all over again. Now you build a real estate empire. You building an empire. But unfortunately, he didn't do that. 18 months into the house, she loses her job. He's driving a truck and working a part-time job just to pay the mortgage on the house. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to use common sense. You know, we got to really use common sense. We have to go against what we've been taught. You know, we were taught that buying a house was the American dream. It's actually the American nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Like even with me and my wife and I right now, the house, our primary residence, we rent. I want you to hear me. We rent our primary residence, but we have 4 residential properties and 1 commercial property that pay us rent. So no money comes out of our pocket. So now you ask, well, why do you rent out the ones you own? Because I'm making money off of those. The property that we own, the tenants pay the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? That's our property. Nothing comes out of our pocket. Nothing. The unit, the house that we rent, which is a beautiful house in a great fucking neighborhood, great landlord. We rent this house because we have no overhead. So I just mentioned at the beginning, if you heard me, you know, we just had a series of storms come through here. If the roof would have caved in, I'll call the landlord. If the AC stopped, I'll call the landlord. If the backyard flood, I'll call the landlord. If the sink stops up, I'll call the landlord. If the toilet explodes, I'll call the landlord. You understand what I'm saying? When you renting, it's a lot of benefits to renting. You know what I mean? It's a lot of benefits to renting as opposed to ownership. Now, on the flip side, if we own this house, something happens with the roof, it's out of our pocket. We pay a deductible, roofing company come out and fix it. Plumbing, so forth and so on. All those expenses come out of my pocket. So I would rather rent my primary residence and I allow my rental properties to pay for where I live, if that makes sense. But those are some of the gems that we pass on to our clients. So you don't just get credit repair with us. You get common sense financial literacy. You know, I recently had a military veteran who never had a Navy Federal account, had him open up a Navy Federal account, and through him, he was able to get all of his children into Navy Federal, which Navy Federal is one of the top 5 credit unions in the nation. It used to be number 1, but because of a lot of scamming, they have a lot more restrictions than they used to, which is understandable, but they're still top 5, you know? So we teach you about banking and how banking relationships work. You know, people tend to think that you have to put a lot of money in the bank in order to get money from the bank. That's not true. That's not true. My wife and I have opened up accounts and applied for credit cards. They got $10,000, $15,000 with $50 in the checking account. Literally, $50 in the checking account. We got $15,000 credit cards. Everything is personal credit driven. We also do LLCs, formations. We help you with getting your EIN, which a lot of people say, oh, I can do that myself. Well, show me. You know, I love the people that say, oh, you could do that yourself. Some people just ain't got time to do it. That's why you pay others to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to change the tire, but if I catch it flat, I'm calling AAA. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not changing it. Like I'm calling AAA. And so there's a lot of things we do. You know, we do business funding. And again, even when it comes to business funding, if you see the commercials out there right now, and they say if you got a 700 plus credit score, you can apply for business funding. And the reason why is because business funding is personal credit driven. All right, it's personal credit driven. So what that means is this: if I go to Navy Federal tomorrow with my LLC and EIN and article of incorporation and all my paperwork, and I say, well, hey, look, I want to get a loan for $50,000, because there is a thing what people call a no doc loan. It's not really a no doc loan for $50,000. It's a limited documentation loan for 50 grand. It's certain things that you don't have to show. You don't have to show 2-year tax returns, but there are certain things that you do have to show. You have to show that the company is viable, that it's operating. So you just can't walk in there with some paperwork and say, hey, give me 50 grand. It doesn't work that way. But let's say I meet the criteria, but my credit score is a 620. I will not get that loan. Most of the times with most banks and financial institutions, they want to see a 700 or better. They don't want to see no late payments. And I'm telling you guys right now, that is the worst. That is the worst. They don't want to see no late payments. They don't want to see no delinquencies. They don't want to see no collections. They don't want to see no charge-offs. They almost want to see a perfect record. Now ask yourself why. This is the reason. As a banker, why would I loan you $50,000 when you can make on-time payments on a $1,000 credit card? You got a credit card with $1,000 limit. Your limit is almost maxed out every month. You pay the very minimum on it, and you miss payments on the minimum. So why would I loan you $50,000? Why would a credit card company increase your credit card limit? Why would a credit card company approve you for higher limit cards? I have people DM me because I play videos, I show the cards I got and things like that. They DM me, man, I got to get like that, man. And I tell them it took me 5 years to get here. This didn't happen overnight. It took 5 years to get here. I got about $450,000 in current credit cards right now, that I can leverage to an asset. Not to go spend it, not to go buy high ticket items, not to go shopping, not to go overseas, not to trick off in the club. I can leverage. I see a property that costs $25,000. I could put $50,000 in repairs, get appraised for $200,000. I can do that off one credit card. Now I can let the sale of that house or the refi of that house pay the card back off, wash, rinse, repeat. You get it? That's what we use credit cards for. That's the reason why you see guys that have a lot of credit cards. That's what they use them for. You know, we was in Charleston, South Carolina. My wife had bought a. Hey, man, what year is that car?
2019.
Yeah.
2018 or 2019.
She bought a 2018 Chevy Spark, and she swiped it on her credit card. And now we rent the car out. So now the guy who rents the car from us, he does DoorDash, Uber Eats, that type of thing. The guy that rents the car from us not only pays off their card, but puts money in our pocket every month. You got to understand, when people say multiple streams of income, it doesn't mean that every income is going to be a home run. I got income right now that give me $200 a month. I got income that give me $2,500 a month. But it all adds up. You know what I'm saying? It adds up. You know, I at one time, I didn't understand the guy that said, hey, man, can I get that 20 back I loaned you? I get that now. Because it adds up. It all adds up. Every stream of income is not going to be a home run. It's not going to be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Like, quit letting these gurus trick you, man. Stop letting these people trick you out your money. You know, they sell you information that's worthless. The information be worthless. I seen one other day, he got a bundle. The course normally costs $3,997. I'm selling it as a birthday bundle for $37. I'm like, huh? And the information is worthless. Because let me tell you something about these social media gurus, all right? And mark my word on this. Mark my word. Whatever they did to get rich, whatever they did to get successful, whatever they did to buy those vehicles and that house and live that lifestyle, that is not the same shit they selling you in them courses. All right? Don't be stupid. It's not the same shit they selling you in them courses. Them courses are worthless. Absolutely. I know this from it. I've purchased them. I've known people that have purchased other courses and sent them to me to decipher. They're worthless. I don't care if it's options trading. I don't care. Stocks. It's worthless. It's worthless. They're not going to teach you what they knew how to get rich. They get rich by showing you a lifestyle and selling you courses. That's how they get rich. And I mean that. Absolutely mean that. You know, stop being bamboozled. We see what's going on with Jay Morrison in the Black House situation. That was one of the biggest scams of the century right there. But he ain't the only one. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the only one. He's just the one that's been set out right now. You know, a lot of these dudes insulate themselves with fans You know what I'm saying? And when people try to attack him, they fans come at him. But Jay Morrison ain't the only one. He's just the godfather. He the godfather of the scams. You know, he the godfather of the generational wealth. Let's break generational courses. He's the godfather of that language. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't the only one. So as my people, man, quit being duped. The only thing that's going to save you, man, is good credit. Good credit. If you have a child right now that goes to a school in a neighborhood, in an environment that is unsafe, shame on you as a parent. If you take any time out to go on a fucking vacation, you take any time out to go to a fucking club, shame on you as a parent. Shame on you. If you know your child is in an environment that is not conducive to his growth and development, is not conducive to a healthy mental state, is not conducive to even his own safety, shame on you as a parent. If you go into the clubs, drinking, smoking weed, shame on you. Because there's too much information out there right now. It's too much information out there. And if you give a fuck about your child, you'll get your child out them fucking environments, man. You get them out them. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. But you're not going to move the needle with a 400 credit score. You're not going to move the needle with a 500 credit score. You're not going to move the needle with a 600 credit score. You're not going to move the needle. You're not going anywhere. Anywhere. So as a parent, shame on you. And I can say that. I can say that because my children went to the best schools. Even though I wasn't the best person, I was in them streets for real. Anyone that know me, but I put my children, my children came up through private school. My children went to one of the best schools in the suburbs in Miami, Florida. So I could say that. I could say that because I did as a parent, even though I was doing wrong, because I didn't have the knowledge I have now. Had I had the knowledge I had now, I wouldn't have went through all the tribulations I went through then. However, it made me who I am, and I will say this. My children never fucking suffered. My children were still able to go outside and play. They can go outside and play. My children could walk to the corner store. How many of your kids can really do that? Right now. Right now. Go sit on the front yard and play. Go in the backyard and play. Huh? How many of your kids right now are reading and doing math on the level they're supposed to read and do math on right now? Right now. If you're in the 6th grade, if you're doing 6th grade math, 6th grade reading. Or if you're doing 3rd grade reading. You're still having a hard time comprehending shit in the 6th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 8th grade. Ask yourself that. If you don't think that your credit is important, shame on you as a parent. Shame on you as a parent. If you don't think insurance is important, shame on you as a parent. Like I say, we're not broke, we have broken priorities. We have broken priorities. Shame on you as a parent. I found out last week through a guy by the name of Mr. Thomas Ambush. We have the link on our YouTube in our Money Mastermind Academy. And he told me something that blew me away. Did you know you could put life insurance on a child as early as 15 days old? 15 days old, you can put life insurance on a child. And I hate to say this, last night downtown St. Louis, 500-600 kids out there having fucking fireworks fight. Fireworks fight. They throwing bottle rockets at each other and throwing bottle rockets at passing cars. And you know what happened at the end. It was on CNN. 8 people shot, 2 died. It went from a fireworks fight to a real shootout. Now, if you know your son or daughter is out there like that, the difference between us and them is insurance. That's how they're able to break the generational gap, the generational wealth gap. It's through insurance. Because most of us don't have insurance. We think a GoFundMe is fucking insurance. GoFundMe ain't fucking insurance. You know what I'm saying? Having barbecues and shit to raise money for a fucking funeral and insurance. But yet we'll go out and we'll spend thousands of dollars on a fucking high school graduation. Thousands. But if your child can't after graduation say, hey, mom, dad, I want to open up a business. You wouldn't donate shit because you ain't got shit to donate. But that graduation made you feel good, though, when you rented that Rolls Royce and she had a custom $2,000 dress on and that shit made you feel good on the inside because maybe you didn't graduate, so you were living through them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. You was living through your child. That's the reason why you put all that money and effort into their graduation. And then soon after graduation, guess what? Now they grown. You grown. You need to get out of my house. 17, 18 years old. But I got a daughter right now, 25, still stay home, man. I'll be damned when she get put out. You leave when you feel like it. You leave when you think you're ready. 25 years old, still stay at home. Still stay at home. Still got morals. You know what I'm saying? Still got goals. Just got a bachelor's degree a month ago. Proud of them. 25, still stay at home. We got to break that mentality, man. We got to break that mentality. And I keep saying it, and I say it over and over again. The key to the gateway to success is through your credit. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. I'll tell you that right now. It is not going to, depending on how bad it is, it's not going to happen overnight. And before I leave, I want to say one last thing. If you apply for something and got denied, stop applying for shit. All right? Hey, if you apply for something and got denied, especially if it's something simple like a Walmart card. You know how you go through the checkout lane, the lady goes, oh, you get 20% off if you apply for the card. And you think like, oh, yeah, I'll apply for the card. And you get denied. So now you got an inquiry. The score dropped a little bit more, decreased. And you're only ruining yourself, like, because creditors look at that. Creditors look at, how often and how many times this person applied for products, services, or finance. So you have to be real careful when you do that. Credit is all about strategy. It really is. It's all about strategy. Like, I got a book right now. I can tell you when the last time I applied for a credit line increase, my wife applied for a credit line increase, the last time she got a credit card, the last time I got a credit card, because it's a strategy. Because certain cards are more sensitive than other cards. Just to give an example, Discover. If Discover see that you got 3 credit cards in the last 2 or 3 months, they won't approve for you a card. They look at you as a high risk because you just got approved for cards. So why do you want our card if you just got approved for cards? Like you have to understand the algorithm. You have to understand how these things work. You know what I mean? And that's the benefit when you hire us. When you hire Pleasant Management, you get people that actually care and people that actually went their way. I say it all the time. We don't teach it unless we did it or we walk somebody through it and they did it. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? We do not teach it unless we fucking did it. If we didn't do it, we don't teach it. I don't repeat shit them other motherfuckers say. You know what I'm saying? I don't all that old. Here, 4 banks, you get $50,000 from the day. 4 banks, you get $50,000 from the day. No doc. Just walk in there and get 50 grand. Boom, you got 200 grand right there. Nah, man. I don't teach you no Fed shit. We don't fuck with CPNs. I don't do credit sweeps. I don't do fake identity theft reports. I don't do none of that. I don't do shit that's going to get me or you in trouble. Because say I do a CPN for you and you get caught, you're going to tell. Like, especially if you've never been in jail, like, you're going to tell where you got it from. Plain and simple. You're going to tell. Like, and I understand that. And I wouldn't blame you because I put you in that position. I should have never sold you the CPN because I know they're illegal. CPNs are illegal. You can go to the feds, and I've met guys in the feds that got caught using CPNs. All right. I don't do credit sweeps. Why? Because, again, if the collection company or the credit bureau contact the sheriff in your area and say, hey, look, this person said that they was a victim of identity theft. Do you have a police report on this or anything? And they're like, oh, no, we don't have one. But I have a police report right here from your department saying that they filed because it's a fake police report. Because you got to have a police report in order to do an identity theft report. It makes it a stronger case. And the credit bureaus will do research. And guess what? When that sheriff come knock on your door, come to your job and ask you about that falsified document, you're going to tell. Like, you're going to tell. Like, you're going to tell. And still go to jail, even after you tell. Like, the feds don't give a fuck. Like, you can tell the feds everything, you still going to jail. You still going to jail. I would just have more time to you because I'm the one that gave you the shit, but we both going to jail. So that's the reason why I don't put myself in that position. I don't put people in that position. And I do everything as straight and narrow as possible, man. Like, I know what it feels like to be on the other side of that fence, and it's not a pretty thing, man. It's not a pretty thing when people leave you for dead. You know what I'm saying? It's not a pretty thing when those people that you once looked after and those people that you once respected and called your brother and your sister and your friends, and now they all talking shit about you. You know what I mean? Like, I know what that feel like. You know what I mean? And I don't wish that on nobody. I wish death before prison, to be honest with you. I wish death before prison. So, again, guys, if you have any questions, any comments, again, it's $299 down, $99 a month. I believe that is extremely fair. You're going to get the same full service that we give everyone else. We're not going to cut anything back. You're going to get the same full service that we give everybody else. So please take opportunity, get involved, enroll. If you have any questions, any comments, please hit me on the DMs, book a consultation. I'll be in the St. Louis area for the next 10 days. If you want to do a one-on-one consultation, we can. After that, I'll be in Miami. I can do a one-on-one consultation in Miami. After Miami, I'll be in Charleston, South Carolina, and we can do a one-on-one consultation there. Also, I am available for any kind of public speaking, seminars, events. I can be booked for those events. I also do one-on-one financial literacy. And I also, if you want to learn how to run and operate your own credit repair company, all right? If you want to learn how to operate your own credit repair company, I can teach you and mentor you, but it's not going to be cheap. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. That is not going to be cheap, but I can teach you. And I would tell you this with all the gusto in the world. Right now, I average 5 figures a month with my company and everything that's with it. And it ain't just the credit repair company. It's a lot of things that's tentacles of an octopus that makes up that 5 figures. But because of my good credit and because of my credit repair company, by myself, I bring in 5 figures a month. And I actually capped that off. You know, I could easily be doing 6. I just don't have the manpower. So that's another thing my wife and I are working on. We're looking for a brick and mortar building, either Miami or St. Louis. And we're going to actually have offices, and I'm going to train people in the office on how to do credit repair and do cold calls and things like that. So we got some big things coming up, man. Like Pleasant Management is on the rise, is well known. We have a good reputation. We have very happy clients, and I want you to be one of them. So I want to say thank you. You guys have a good night. God bless. I'll be back on here next week. Thank you.